What are the main factors that activate and strengthen your feminine energy? Hello, my dear friends. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new to my channel, my name is Jane. I'm a life coach, a women's coach. In this channel, we speak with you a lot about self-development, understanding the self, how you can activate your feminine energy and become the magnet to all your desires. It's so funny because I was trying to prepare so much for this video to the extent that my microphone fell into my coffee. And I see it as a sign that Jane stopped being such a perfectionist. I needed to put the candle, the scents to get the right vibe. Today I got inspiration to make a video for you about feminine energy, about our essence. I did a little recap of what transformations, what changes I had this year and how it changed my reality. Most importantly, my way of feeling, how I feel myself as a woman. What are the main factors that activate and strengthen your feminine energy? And I have three today. Three main changes that I did in my life in order to live in my feminine energy, not my masculine energy. Nowadays, we live in the world that constantly tells us that we need to achieve, we need to run somewhere, we need to do. And in all of those societal expectations, we shift into the masculine roles as women, into this masculine energy within us. And although this energy is necessary in order to build, create, in order to establish businesses, to achieve our results, we do not necessarily feel aligned and happy in those kind of energies. For me, it took a while to heal certain things, certain programs within me in order to start living from my feminine energy, from my feminine core instead of the masculine. And after healing those parts of me that were living in accordance to the societal expectations, in accordance with the programming that I received when I was a kid from my parents that divorced, I was really unhappy. And I couldn't see results in my life. I couldn't see me blooming. I couldn't see me getting further in my career. I couldn't see me having beautiful connections and interactions with the masculine energy, with men, because I was simply living in that wounded state. You can call it wounded feminine energy. And by the way, I speak a lot about that in my course, Femininity 101. I started healing. I started searching. What are the answers to that? How can I finally be happy? Because I was seeing so many women who receive so much faster than me. And I thought I need to work really hard. And I thought that I need to be perfect, that I need to be better. And only in that way I would receive whatever I want in life. But the truth was, it was so much easier. I just had to relax in my feminine energy and allow myself to live through my nature. This channel is dedicated to women, to you opening up and activating your feminine energy. And I'm sharing my journey simply because it was a game changer. Otherwise, I would not share it. All the tips that I share here are my personal transformations that has changed my reality. Yesterday, I went to gym and I had a Pilates session. And after the session, I was preparing for the meeting with a friend. And I realized that I became so much slower and calmer within myself. That feminine energy is activated when we stop running and when we basically change the speed within us, change that volume within us that is created by our survival mode. When we live in the survival mode, forget about feminine energy. It's not about feminine energy. My biggest transformation of the feminine energy has happened once I healed my survival mode. The survival mode is really connected to our first chakra, Muladhara. And in this video, I will share a little bit with you about two main chakras that every woman should be working on if she wants to live in abundance, if she wants to attract men into her life, if she wants to flourish and bloom. The survival mode, which is connected to our first chakra, Muladhara, is simply activated within us when there was a traumatic experience in the childhood. And I'm not speaking about when we were 5 years old or 12 years old. I'm speaking about the time when we were in our mother's belly and the first year and a half of our lives. Because here is where we get that feeling of safety from our mom. All the emotions that our mom is feeling, we are consuming. We're consuming, especially when we are in her belly. You were basically taking all of her emotions and feelings and making them yours. So if the mom was for some reason anxious or feeling fearful or any negative emotions, this all you basically were consuming as a child. That's why healing journey is necessary, because sometimes we don't even know why we have certain patterns in our lives, because the trauma maybe that we received, the programming, was given to us while we were not even alive, while we were still developing in the belly of our mom. If as a child, if as a baby, you didn't receive the feeling of safety your first year, and while you were in the process of development in your mom's belly, you might have a chance to experience survival mode. And survival mode is, I speak a lot about it in many videos. You can actually watch a very insightful video which is called From Trust Issues to Feminine Flow. And there I speak about survival mode too. Survival mode doesn't allow a woman to relax. And a woman that lives in survival mode, she's constantly afraid of the future. And because of that fear, she cannot live in the present moment. She is in this constant hamster wheel, which I've experienced many times in my life. It's that state of being where you cannot allow yourself to relax and cannot allow yourself to slow down. We're continuing. I asked them to stop. It's funny how there is some resistance today for me to film the video. Maybe because the information is very important. The hamster wheel. Hamster wheel is the state of being where you cannot relax and where you are constantly running from your fear of the future. And because you are running and because you're so concentrated on that future and on those fears that you have within yourself, the fear of survival, the fear of your safety, you are afraid to simply be. And this is not the new information to you. Maybe it is if you just joined my channel, but overall, I gave you this beautiful understanding many times. And yesterday, while I was at the gym, I caught myself on being so slow and so calm. I was doing the shower very slow. I was putting my makeup, putting the cream on my body so slowly. And this was a huge realization for me, that I feel like I had a chance to heal that big trauma of safety within me. And the most beautiful outcome of this state of being is that you become so fucking magnetic. You become so feminine, in your feminine energy, because you simply live in the present moment and you allow yourself to enjoy every interaction, enjoy every action. As I said to you, putting the lotion on your body, because in your mind you stopped running, you stopped basically trying to protect yourself from the illusionary outcome, the illusionary fear that you have within your mind about the future. And the funniest thing, that it's such an illusion that many women live in, and men as well, that if you will be running, if you will be constantly trying to do something in this anxious state, you will achieve results. You won't, because you're in the fight and flight mode. And also, it's so interesting, another story, I was in the psychological game, which is called Lila, a week ago here in Moscow. And in this game, basically, you play the game with a question, and then when you exit the game, you receive your answer. And during the game, there is a person, like usually a psychologist, who asks you questions that lead you to that answer. I love this game. So there was a guy there, and he came with the question. He wanted to understand how he can stop running all the time, how he can stop concentrating on the goal without enjoying the path. And I could clearly see that he is very developed in his masculine energy, but his feminine energy, his feminine side is suffering because he also lives in the survival mode and he doesn't allow himself to simply relax in the present moment. And this all comes from that fear of safety. And this is what you can work on, healing your inner child, healing that traumatic experience that has happened with you while you were in the womb of your mom, the perinatal period, and when you were just born. So the woman, when she heals the survival mode, when she activates her first chakra, Muladhara, which is dedicated to our survival, she is the magnet because she doesn't fear the future anymore, and she lives in this constant state of relaxation within her body. And now we're moving to another important chakra and insight and transformation that may change your reality and activate your feminine energy. It's our second chakra, Svadhisthana, which is probably the most feminine chakra. If you are working with this chakra, you become so attractive, so feminine, so sexy, because this is the root of your life force energy. And by the way, if you want to know more about chakras, I created a detailed guide, which is called Empress Journey Guide, where I shared with you my deepest secrets on how I healed and activated each chakra. And each chakra, there are 7 chakras, is dedicated to different areas of our lives. If first chakra is all about safety, basic needs, our health, money, the second chakra is about relationships, is about our sexuality, is about our sensuality. And every chakra holds its own role. And in this guide, you can access it in my website and purchase it. You can find the information about every chakra and how healing every chakra may bring you to your Empress energy. So coming back to Svadhisthana, when you've healed your survival mode and you became so relaxed, so unbothered, because you simply trust, because you have that feeling of safety within you, you may finally allow yourself to enjoy life, to enjoy little things, to enjoy pleasure. And you cannot experience pleasure, you cannot enjoy if you're constantly in anxiety, if you're running. The second important factor for you to strengthen your feminine energy is to allow yourself to enjoy. And here, so many women have blockages as well, because we were programmed that joy is something bad, that joy is not good. For example, in my journey, I always felt guilty for experiencing joy. I thought that I need to constantly work, to constantly do something and I wasn't allowing myself to enjoy. And after my deep inner work, my deep therapy, coaching, my own transformation and healing journey, I was able to heal that part of me that was prohibited to enjoy, to experience pleasure. And this is why your second chakra is blocked, because of the guilt. Because you're constantly living in this guilt that you cannot simply enjoy. Because I had this guilt for so long, I was constantly running away from my family, far away, because I really wanted to enjoy my life. And while I was next to them, I felt so guilty. I thought that I cannot simply relax and enjoy. And there is a powerful video in my YouTube that actually is the most popular one that got so many views, that is called From Masculine to Feminine Energy, where I share with you this story. Healing guilt within me was the next step towards my feminine energy, because I finally allowed myself to enjoy, to live in joy. And a woman is all about joy. This is our second chakra. And if you're not experiencing joy, you are not blooming. This is so connected with your blooming. The woman that is radiating is the woman that is connected to her joy, and that is allowing herself to enjoy every single day. When I was in Dubai this spring, I had a powerful healing session with a friend. She's a psychologist. And I couldn't understand why, okay, I've healed the survival mode. I thought that I healed it. But then we went even deeper into the journey of removing layers. And we found out that there was a little girl within me who got this understanding when she was a kid that she cannot enjoy. I remember that my mom really wanted me to be a professional tennis player, and she was forcing me to constantly train, to play. I had trainings every single day. And I simply wanted to be in our country house in my vacation and just play with my friends. I wanted to play hide and seek, all the games. I wanted to enjoy life. But I got this understanding, the program that I need to play tennis, that I need to prepare, that I need to work really hard. Otherwise, I would not be loved by my parent, by my mom. So after that, I kind of blocked my joy, because I thought that if I'm enjoying life, I would not be loved. It all comes to our childhood, unfortunately. And I'm not saying to you that you need to now start blaming your parents, like you are responsible for that, you're for that. No. But this is how it works. We all received our programming when we were kids, when we were consuming everything. And now we're simply living by that programming. So I healed it. I healed that inner child within me, that girl that really wanted to just enjoy life. And I couldn't understand why I I simply cannot allow myself to go and enjoy. I need to constantly work. And after that, my blooming has started because I connected with the joy. And this joy is not about dopamine. It's not about you eating cakes or drinking wine. It's not about that. This joy is the connection with your womb and the connection with your soul. And when you finally allow yourself to slow down and to enjoy the cup of coffee in the morning, where you're not running, when you're just simply grounded, sitting and feeling every sip of this coffee. Enjoy walking in nature. Enjoy buying yourself a nice dress that you really wanted. Taking yourself to your favorite restaurant and eating something nice. This is all about joy. And this is what makes the woman attractive, when she is connected to her joy, when she is not neglecting her joy, and when she is choosing her joy every single day. So the first one, we're healing our survival mode. And the second point, we're activating our joy. We're healing all the programs that we have within ourselves. We're unlearning and allowing ourselves to live in pleasure every single day. And the third very important thing that may strengthen your feminine energy is, of course, rest. If you would ask me, what is the first thing you can do if you want to activate your feminine energy? I would say, have some rest. When we are resting, we are going inward. And masculine is all about external. Feminine is all about internal. So, my own example, I created my business and I have a lot of work, and I need to be out there. I need to do the content, I need to be present, to be online a lot. But I can only do that and feel myself content and do it from my feminine energy because I combine it with rest. I dedicate time every single day to recharge, to have a bath with salt, to have a meditation or walk in nature, to simply lay down and listen to my favorite music, to do absolutely nothing. And this is the state where we connect with our feminine energy. And this is the state where all the ideas come to us, actually. One other final example, in that game where I was last week, psychological game Lila, there was a girl and she was deeply lost in her purpose. And she looked so tired. She looked like she's exhausted. But she really wanted to find out what to do for her work. And I gave her an advice. I told her, and this was actually her thoughts, but I just spotted the transformation there. She thought that she needs to quit her job and start another one ASAP. But I could see in her eyes that she's so tired and exhausted. And I told her, why don't you take a month after you quit your job and just rest? Rest, rejuvenate, and see what kind of answer would come to you, what you want to do. And she was a bit skeptical about it because she said, I'm afraid, what if I will start resting and then I would lose the motivation to work at all? But the truth is that it's the other way around. When you rest, you rejuvenate and you receive all your ideas and all that inspiration. You connect with your vision, and then you're ready to move on. You're ready to start creating something on your feminine energy because you're connected with your desires. Second chakra. So I left earlier, but later I found out that the game, she was able to exit the game once she realized that she needs to stop working at all right now and focus on her feminine energy and focus on rest. That's it. Rest. That's the answer. If you want to strengthen your feminine energy, activate it. Rest more. Go inward more within yourself, because the feminine is all about internal and the masculine is external. And we need to balance both, of course, but our core, our foundation starts there, within. And on that note, I think I will be finishing the video. These are the 3 main secrets, points that will help you strengthen your feminine energy and help you bloom. If you would like to learn more about chakras and come to the Empress energy, where you are living in your Empress every single day, I invite you to get my chakra guide, where I speak more in details about every chakra. Because here I cannot share with you everything. And there is basically like a roadmap that you can use once you feel like a certain area of your life is collapsing. And you can find out in the guide, I'm feeling this emotion. It means that, for example, my heart chakra is blocked. And I give you also journaling prompts and exercises that you can do in order to heal and activate the specific chakra. When all of your chakras are activated, you're in your goddess energy, you're in your empress energy, and you're simply the magnet to everything you desire. But it all starts from within. Remember that. Not from the external, but from the inside out. This is your inner work, and you have all the access to all the tools that I created for you on my website, Body, Mind, Divine. My dear friends, my dear women, everyone who is watching this channel, I love today's video. I feel really content, and I hope you feel this energy with me as well. I wish you a beautiful day full of joy and pleasure, and I'm gonna see you in my next video. Bye bye.